Hey, so if you're feeling that you're stuck, if you're feeling that things are not adding up, if you're feeling that you're putting a lot of work, but you're not getting the results that you want within your business, then this training is perfect for that. Now, this is going to be a mandatory training for every single client of PCL, but if you're not a client, I'm also going to give access to the public to watch it because it's one of those things that once you understand and once you see it, you can never unsee it. That's one. The second thing is it will give you insights into your business that most people and most programs just don't give you. Sounds good? So let's get right into it. First, let me move my face from here. The goals with this training is to identify the biggest bottlenecks holding you back from your goal, gain complete clarity on your entire business process, literally, crystal clear clarity on what you do, what you should do, how you should do it from A to Z, everything. Diagnose and solve problems quickly and effectively to get results. Ask targeted questions to get targeted answers and move forward quickly. Now, this training was created because of a couple of reasons. The first reason is clients who were asking me about random problems within their business, like lead gen is not working, for example, or someone who signs on with us and they're like, the business is not working. Lead gen, the business, those are very broad topics, very big problems. And if you try to solve very broad topics, very broad problems, you have a million ways to solve them. So, where to start, what to do, how to move the needle forward, how to remove all of the overwhelm and overcomplications from your process so you can exactly solve the problems that will lead to the best results possible. This is the goal of this program, uh, the training, actually. The second reason why I created this training, and this is a personal story of mine, I'm going to talk about it very quickly so we could get to the value immediately, is I saw my mother get an autoimmune disease because of her business. She was overworking herself. She stopped taking care of her health, sometimes 20 hours days, working, pushing, creating to barely make enough money for us to survive and to live. And God bless her soul, God bless her. She's still alive, amazing human being fundamentally. But she struggled a lot. At the same time, I saw other people who weren't working as much as her, who weren't struggling as much as her, who weren't grinding as much as her, but making 100 times more money. They were enjoying their life. They were going out, they were having fun, they were buying stuff, they were getting good cars, they were providing to their families properly. So, right then and there, I realized that there's something different. Those guys, those people who are actually happy, who are actually working, who are actually just plowing through all of their competitors and growing without any signs of stopping, are doing something different. And this is the thing that is different that they are doing. This is the thing that is different that they are doing. And the first thing starts with something called the theory of constraints. See, the theory of constraints, this is literally what it is a methodology for identifying the most important limiting factor, i.e., the constraint, that stands in the way of achieving your goal and then systematically improving that constraint until it is no longer a limiting factor. So you identify a limiting factor within your business that is not allowing you to get what you want to get or to reach where you want to reach. And then you focus on that solely until you achieve the goal that you want to achieve. And nothing in this world is more powerful than a person who is focused on solving one thing and one thing specifically. The problem nowadays with businesses is so many people have their attentions diverted trying to solve a million different problems: lead gen, client acquisition, conversion, client fulfillment, etc., 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 that we are going and spreading ourselves in, self sin. Sorry, my tongue twisted. Ourselves thin, and we're not getting where we want to get. So, the core idea behind the theory of constraint is to accurately diagnose the constraint that is leading to the problem that you're experiencing and fix that and only that. You're experiencing a specific problem. You find what's leading to that problem, you solve that and only that. As most businesses spend time running around in circles, creating new offers, creating new lead magnets, trying different challenges, master classes, changing messages, changing niches, for years, I got people who were doing that for years. I've got people who have been operating their businesses for 4 years and they're still running around in circles without actually understanding their biggest constraint and how to deal with it. The constraint is one of those things, by the way. I'm going to explain it. I'm going to give practical examples so you'll know exactly how it works. But the constraint is one of those things that you could solve everything around it. But if you do not solve it, if you do not focus on it and specifically it, no matter what you solve, you're always gonna fall back into the same problems. And this is why we run around in circles. This is why our wheels turn, but we don't get the results. This is why so many of us are working, 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 working. But if you look at the bank account, it doesn't reflect the amount of work because you're focusing and fixing so many things and you're doing so many things rather than doing the right things. Here's an example. The goal is to close 5 clients a month. So here's what you did. Let's say hypothetically, imagine with me, you want to close 5 high-ticket clients a month. So here's what you did. You added 300 people. By the way, this is a very simplified example so anyone can understand it. You added 300 people. You created 3 lead magnets. Each one of those lead magnets got you 10 leads, so you got 30 leads. You made one offer publicly to those leads. You got 3 calls booked, and one of those calls closed with you. You didn't get your goal. You wanted 5 clients, but you only got what? 1 client. Now, when you see that you've only booked 3 calls this month and closed 1 client and you didn't get to your goal, you start making assumptions. And this is what most of us do. My offer is not good enough. The quality of leads is poor. I'm bad at sales. I need to change my niche. I need to change my messaging. I need to fix this. I need to fix that. I need to do this. I need to do that. Each one would take you hours and weeks to fix. By the way, if anyone tells you, let me help you fix your messaging within a couple of minutes, proper messaging, proper offer, proper leads takes time to fix. You might even think that your business is broken. When in reality, if you look at the system, your biggest constraint is that you only made 1 public offer to those leads this entire month. So here you got 300 people. 30 of them became leads. You only made 1 offer to book 3 calls. So the easiest thing that you can do, the easiest change that you can do is rather than making 1 offer, you make 4 offers next month. And most probably you'll get to your goal and you'll get very close to your goal. This is an example of a constraint. The constraint here was the amount of offers made. Now, when you saw this example, what did you think? You maybe thought, okay, like we could add more people. Or okay, we could do even more lead magnets, which is valid, and that's the problem. Most problems in business are valid, and that's the problem. But not every problem, if we solve it, it's going to generate us the highest amount of results. Not every problem is going to generate us the highest amount of revenue. Very specific problems generate very specific results and very specific revenue. In that case, it was just rather than making 1 offer, you make 4 offers and you make 4 times the amount of money. That is the constraint in your business. Now, let me give you an actual example. A client joined PCL, which is my program. And if you are here watching it as a client, please understand this. And as he joined the call, you could see the look in his eyes. Literally, man, you could look at his eyes and you could see like he was angry. He was frustrated. When it was his time to talk, he looked at me and said, Arnold, I will change my niche. And he said it with full confidence. So I asked him, why? Why do you want to change your niche? He said, people are resonating with my content and they're messaging me, but no one is buying. So he started making assumptions that his niche is broken, his people are broke or whatever it is. So I asked him, have you made an offer for those people? He said, yes. By the way, literally, like when I say it in capital letters, this is like he said, yes. He was very, very excited about it. And I asked him how many took it. He said, none. Then, this is my reply. You have an offer problem, not a niche problem. Fix your offer and people will book. He did that. Now he has multiple sales conversations. And just yesterday, he told me that he had a call with a prospect that is open to buying. Now, if he went to change his niche, which was his first immediate reaction, He would have spent hours researching this new niche, building new messaging, changing his content, doing everything, where in reality his bottleneck wasn't his niche, or his bottleneck wasn't his messaging in the content, because people were resonating, people were messaging him. His biggest constraint was what? His offer. And anything that he would have worked on other than his offer wouldn't have generated him results. He would have went back again and again and again in the same cycles, in the same problems. He would have fell back again and again and again in the same exact things for months and even for years. One constraint in the system leads to a halt in the entire system and outcomes of this system. And if this one constraint has not been solved, you could work for hours, you could work for days, you could work for months, and you still have a problem. And hopefully that's starting to make sense as you're looking at this and as you're consuming this. That you could work on a lot of things, but if this is not in the constraint section, you would literally spend a lot of time fixing a lot of things that won't get you to where you want to go. Your business is never broken. A business in itself is very big. It's a machine. It has multiple things that work together. It's usually just one part of your system that's not working efficiently. Unlocking constraints creates leverage. So if you fix this one part, you can grow. You can grow easily, quickly, effectively. Him just reworking his offer, which took him literally 2 hours to rework. What happened? Okay, that was weird. It's fine. So him reworking his offer, which took him literally 2 hours to rework, started getting him results. Versus reworking his niche, which wouldn't have gotten him results. Now, what is leverage? By the way, we're still now in the information section. In a minute, we'll get to the implementation section where you can see everything, where you can implement everything, and where you can play around with everything. So what is leverage generally? Leverage is using something to its maximum advantage without exerting a lot of effort to get maximal amount of results. So basically leverage is I put $1 in, I get $1,000 out. I put 1 unit of energy in, I get 20 units of energy out. I make one action, and this action keeps on generating for me results multiple times over months and over years. This is leverage. Here's an example. Minimum leverage. Let's say we go back to this example. This guy wanted to get 5 calls booked. 5 calls closed. So 5 clients. He didn't get 5 clients. So what did he decide to do? Let me increase the friend requests from 300 to 900. Now you went from adding from 300 to 900 people. So most probably you 3x the amount of work involved and you 3x the amount of money spent if you have a VA. So you go to your VA and tell them, I want you to work 3 times as hard and I'm going to pay you 3 times more. After working all of that, you only get 3 clients. You got better. Rather than getting 1 client, you got 3 clients. You got closer to your goal, but you didn't achieve your goal. You didn't work on the biggest constraint. You added 900 people. Cool. Versus maximum leverage. Rather than making 1 offer, you made 4. So you went from sending 1 offer to your list to 4. So you copy and pasted the same email, changed a couple of words in it, and then sent it out at the end of each week. And now you got 4 clients. You got the goal. Or actually, you got very close to the goal. This, to do, takes you how much time? 5 minutes. You go and you copy your offer, you change a couple of words, you paste it in another email. This takes you 3 times the amount of work. So let's say adding 300 people a month takes you an hour a day. Now it's going to take you 3 hours a day to do that versus 5 minutes the entire month. This is what happens when you focus on the constraint in itself rather than focusing on random shit in the business that is just out there. Rather than focusing on adding more people, doing more lead magnets, booking more calls and closing more calls, All that you could have done is just made more offers, which takes you the least amount of time, and it is the highest leverage activity, and it is the constraint within your business. Hopefully, that's starting to make sense. This is also one of the reasons why volume and doing more isn't always the solution. That's why some people just zoom past by their competitors, while others just stay stuck and move at the speed of a snail. I know people who work more than me. I work 4 or 5, on great days, 7 hours a day. I take Saturday, Sundays off. Sometimes Saturday I work half day because I have some calls with clients and all of that. But like I work at a very chill rate, pretty much. And I zoom past people who have been working more than me in the industry and working more than me every day, so 10 hours a day, but they're not getting the results that I'm getting. Why? Because they focus on the volume, the working hard, the pushing, the creating, while I focus on the highest constraint and I remove it. What is the biggest constraint? I fix that. Cool. So now we're going to get to the practical side of it. But let me first get a sip of coffee. The core components of your business. All businesses are composed of those 5 core components. It doesn't change. If you speak to anyone or you get to meet anyone who actually knows their stuff when it comes to business, they're going to tell you that a business is compromised or composed of those 4 core, my tongue twisted, sorry, of those core 5 components. 1, traffic. 2, leads. 3, conversions. 4, clients. 5, collecting results. And again, we repeat. Those are the only 5 core components that you can focus on in your business and daily activities to move your needle forward. Anything outside of those core components is deemed unproductive. 1, how do people get to see you? Traffic. 2, how do those people express interest in you? Lead conversion. So what is a lead? A lead is someone who has expressed interest in the thing that you are presenting. 3, how do you convert those leads? 4, how do you deliver to those converted leads? 5, how do you collect results? That is your entire business. And every time you have a constraint within your business, this constraint falls under one of those 5 core components. Either traffic, either leads, either conversions, either clients, either collecting results. Now, the beauty about that is that within those 5 core components, everything is linked together. So traffic is linked to leads. Leads are linked to conversions. Conversions are linked to clients. Clients are linked to client results. So the more traffic you generate, if you have your lead section proper, you're going to generate more leads. If you generate more leads, naturally you're going to generate more conversions. If you generate more conversions, you're going to generate more clients. If you fulfill to those clients and you generate great clients results, naturally when you post it, people are going to see it. People are going to be like, interesting, I want that. So you're going to generate more traffic. That's pretty much the entire spectrum of a business. To simplify it to its core components: traffic, leads, conversions, clients, client results. Whenever you're not generating proper results within your business, it always goes back to one or more of those problems here, or those core components. You need traffic to turn into leads. So without traffic, you won't turn people into leads. You need leads to turn into conversions. So you can't generate people out of thin air and make them clients. You need leads to convert. You need conversions to turn into clients. So if you don't have conversion mechanisms to turn into clients, you won't generate clients fundamentally. You need clients to turn into results. And you need results to generate more traffic. So see how it's a self-fulfilling loop? It's a self-fulfilling and growing feedback loop that does not stop. Yet, if one component is underperforming, all other components follow it. So let's say conversions is underperforming. I could generate as much traffic as I want. I could generate as many leads as I want. I could have great client results. I could have just the best testimonials in the world. But I will not be able to convert because conversions is missing. Conversions is not working properly. Same thing with leads. I could have the best lead magnets in this fucking world, without any exception. The best lead magnets in the world. Cool? But if no one sees it, what's the goal? There's no traffic. People are not seeing it. You don't have eyeballs. A couple of people take it, and that's pretty much it. See how one of those components, if it's missing, everything follows it. Everything, without any exception, follows it. And this is why, my friend, so many of us cannot fix our businesses properly and gain clarity on our businesses properly. Because we're fixing so many things rather than fixing the right things. Cool? So, when diagnosing your business to find core constraints, first start by looking at those 5 components, which I already laid out. Now, what I'm going to share with you in a second is my business. Cool? But I'm going to share it with a grain of salt. This is what's working for us. This is what works for my business. This is what works for me. Does that mean that this is how it should look like for you? No. There isn't something called one size fits all. Some of my clients do YouTube and it works really well for them. Some of my clients do Instagram and it works really well for them. This is what's working for us. Cool? But take inspiration from what we're working to learn how to improve your process. So for us, the first step is traffic and eyeballs. So when it comes to traffic and eyeballs, what do we look for? Acceptance rate, how many people are accepting. New conversations, how many people are in new conversations with our business. Reach and engagement, how many people are engaging with our content. How many people is our content reaching? And inbounds generated. How many inbounds is each piece of content generating for our business? This is what I look for. The only actions that I can take in order to get those results is content quantity plus quality. And as we're growing, right now we're removing quantity and going very deep on quality. Qualified friend requests and messages sent. So, hypothetically, cool, let's say we're not generating inbound leads. Rather than fixing the entire niche, the entire market, the only thing that we do is we look at our content quality and we fix it. Content quality fixed, inbound leads generated. This is literally what happened with one of my clients this morning. I was on a call with him and he was like, Arnold, since last week when we fixed the content, leads have been dropping in. I'm like, yeah, because we fixed the content. We didn't just go back and fix the entire business and whatever it is and spend months figuring shit out. It's like, no, like just fix that. Traffic to leads. So this is the second thing that we want. We want leads. Lead magnet opt-ins, hands raised on content, interest shown in conversation. So how many people are opting into our lead magnets? How many people are raising their hands when they see our content? And how many people are showing interest within the conversations? This is what we look out for. The actions that we take in order to generate those results are relevant lead magnets. On a weekly basis, we post relevant lead magnets. Easy and multiple opt-ins, which is one of the things, signature move of PCL, which we create multiple lead magnets to touch on multiple problems for multiple clients so we can get them into our world. This is for another training. Linking and referring, which is also for another training, and longer form exposure. The better we do those things over here, the more results we generate over here. Every single time, without exception. Nurture leads to calls and clients. How many people are opening our emails or messages? How many people are clicking to see our offers? How many people are booking? How many people are showing up? How many offers are being taken? As we are progressing right now, we're removing calls booked and showed up because we're selling mainly through documents and chats. Some people need 15-minute calls. That's pretty much what we do. Okay, this is what we look for. What are the actions that we take? Daily emails plus content. 3 links every single week to my offer. So every single week, I put a link to my offer 3 times at least. Weekly, 1 hour quick offer on Friday. So every Friday, I link 1 quick offer, dedicated post by itself. Now, it's been a while since I've done it because I've been at full capacity. So now we're going to reopen, most probably at the end of this month. And easy access to micro solutions. So $47 product to $100 product, pretty much. I focus on those, I get those results. Same thing for client results, same thing for results to case studies. I'm not going to go into each and every single one of them. But fundamentally, this is what we do. This is how we mapped out our business. And whenever something is not working, whenever there's something wrong, whenever there's something missing, whenever one thing is not happening, all that I have to do is I come back here, I look at this map, let's say hypothetically, cool? Oh, actually, let me give you a proper example. Let me give you an actual solid example. So, lately, we've had a big drop in our emails. So, a lot of people were opting into our emails, cool, which is here in the nurture section, but not opening up our emails. So, they were opting in, but they weren't opening up. And what I realized is that first, my by the way, for full transparency, my first gut reaction was like, oh shit, the messaging is not working. I need to speak to other people. I need to change my niche immediately. This is, I think, every business owner's gut reaction fundamentally. But then as things settled in, I looked at this map and I was like, okay, interesting. So when people opted into one of my trainings, I was immediately getting them to training. So you put your email and you put your name and you click access the training and you immediately go to the training. But I didn't tell people go and open your email to get the training. So people weren't trained to open my emails. So of course people weren't gonna open my emails because I didn't train them. So we fixed that. Within 1 week, within 1 week, we improved our open rates by 14%. We're now at 40% open rate. Within 1 week, I could have changed the niche. I could have changed the messaging. I could have changed the lead magnets. I could have created more lead magnets. All of that wouldn't have solved the exact problem that we were dealing with. Is it starting to make sense how when we look at this map, we can immediately realize that, okay, like the problem is people are not opening up. So the problem is in the third section. Why is it in the third section? And now we fix it. So now what you can do is you can sit down and map out your business on a notebook. I did it fancy for you guys, honestly. I did this whole drawing and chart and all of that for you guys to make it look fancy, but you don't need to have it fancy. You can draw it on your notebook. So what you can do is, how do I get people to see me? You write them down. How do I get those people to express interest? So to become leads, you write it down. How do I convert those leads? You write it down. How do I deliver to my clients? You write it down. How do I collect results? You write it down. And as you write it down, you're going to realize that, oh, shit, I have a gap here. I have a problem here. I'm not doing that right. And then you fix it. This is how you remove the constraints, my friend. So the problem, at any moment that you experience a problem in the business, it's never the business. So a couple of days ago, I had a client who came into a call with us. He's like, Arnold, my business is not working. Now, I know that the guy is generating multiple thousands of dollars, multiple. Like the guy is doing, his monthly recurring revenue is higher than, not higher than mine, but close to mine. Like I know that he's doing something, something right. So I was like, interesting, man. So what's happening? And he's like, the business is not working. It's never the business. It's never the entire business that's not working. Please understand that. It's always one step in the process of the business. One thing in the system, not the entire system. It's individual components that lead to the problem. And this is why we stay stuck, because we think it's the holistic thing, it's the entire business, when in reality it's just one simple thing. I'm going to tell you how to identify this one simple thing in a moment, but please understand how this looks like. So from now on, if you're a private client of mine, whenever you want to message me and ask me like, Arnold, we're dealing with that problem, or Arnold, we're dealing with that problem, don't give me broad things. You give me broad things, I give you broad answers. Broad answers never lead anywhere. Give me specific things. Arnold, not enough people are seeing my YouTube video and opting into my lead magnet because there isn't enough traffic. Okay, now we fixed that. Arnold, I'm sending my offer, but not enough people are booking. Okay, now we fixed that. Specific problems. Cool. Now, an important note, please. This isn't crucial. This is a core thing. And if you get out of this training without understanding anything but this point, it would be good. Sometimes there isn't a constraint. There's a consistency problem. Results will need time to show. There's an element of timing that you cannot control, my friend. Different prospects have different timings and sales cycles require multiple touch points. Sometimes being too active in your business is actually hurting it, as you're always looking for something broken to fix, when in reality, there is nothing broken to fix. So you start to tinkle around and change up something that naturally worked. It just needed more time. It just needed more time. Let me tell you a quick story. I have a client who messaged me a while ago, and he was like, Arnold, my offer, I'm not aligned with it. I don't feel aligned with it. And whenever a client tells me that, and he deeply feels it, that's a big red flag, because if something you need to be aligned with is the thing that you are providing to your market fundamentally. So we changed up his offer. And as we changed up with his offer, we posted the offer publicly. One person booked. Now he has a big email list. So like one person booked isn't good. So he started telling me, Arnold, we need to change this. We need to change that. We need to change this. We need to change that. And I told him, I'm not going to say his name. I told him, X, look, man, leave it and give it time. So we left it and we gave it time. 2 weeks later, this morning, he came back to me. He was like, oh, Arnold, I forgot to tell you. I closed one high ticket client from it and I have other calls booked. Sometimes, I'm going to say something, but the algorithm won't like it, but we don't care. You don't want to fuck around to find out. Sometimes you don't want to mess with the thing until it gets broken. Sometimes the thing is working. It just needs time. So don't tinker with it if it's not broken. And the only way you can know that it's not broken is if you give it enough time and you give it enough volume. Cool? So, how to identify the constraint? First things first, you look at your process and you ask yourself, where are my people falling off? Or what is the problem? Where is the problem in this? So actually, we can take it as, where is the problem? The second question is, how consistent am I with the actions of this stage? So let's say, for example, here, cool? So here, we're not getting enough people to see the offer. Now, I could go here and change up the messaging or whatever it is, or I could ask myself, how consistent am I? And I'm going to realize that, oh, rather than sending 3 times the offer this week, I sent it only once, or I didn't send it. So how consistent are you? Now, if you are consistent, you move forward to number 3. What's specifically required to fix the stage? So I am consistent. There is a problem. So what should I do to fix it? This is where you come in and you ask me, if you don't know how to do it or how to fix it, you come in and you ask me, you tell me, Arnold, if you are a private client, of course. If you're not a private client, don't. Become a private client and ask me. Arnold, like I have, for example, people are clicking on my offer, but people are not booking with me. Why? So now you have a specific question that I can answer. Or what you can do, we have very advanced AI nowadays. You can go to AI and you can ask it a very specific question. So here's an example. I have a client, he posted the lead magnet, his lead magnet didn't perform. He went in, he gave AI all of the data of his audience, and then he gave it the lead magnet. And he was like, this lead magnet didn't resonate with my target audience. Not enough people saw it and not enough people took it. And the AI was able to read it and give it educated, proper guesses. Why? Because it was a very specific question. He wasn't like, take this lead magnet, it didn't perform, figure it out. See how when you get specific, you can get specific answers. And if you get specific answers, you get specific results and you move fast, very fast. How will I set up a plan to fix this and only this? So here's an example. What you're saying here right now, what you're watching here right now, no matter where you're watching it, you're watching something that I had a problem with. So clients used to come to me and they were like, Arnold, things are not working. Or whenever I onboard a new client, they were like, let's fix the offer. So we fixed the offer and then we realized that the problem isn't within the offer. So I was like, okay, done. We're going to stop fixing random shit and we're going to just focus on the things that will move the needle forward for you. So this is why I created this training right now. And this is why I spent the last week putting things together, rewriting it to make sure that is very specific. Because when someone watches this training, which is a mandatory training for every person that invests in PCL, when they watch this training, they're going to see that, oh, okay, like this is my exact problem, let's fix it. And if they fix the exact problems, what happens? They get better results faster. And things start to move forward. You ask yourself those 4 questions and you move. Now, another question that you might be asking is, if I did that exercise, Arnold, and I got multiple constraints, so multiple problems to deal with, what do I do? 1 second, let me drink coffee. If you don't know me, I'm a coffee addict. Deal with it. So what if I have multiple problems? If you have multiple problems, you start with the thing that is closest to the money. So let's say you have a leads problem and you have a conversions problem. What do you start with first, the leads problem or the conversions? You start with the thing that is closest to the money. What is the closest to the money? Clients, right? So you won't get money before someone gets clients, before someone becomes a client. So you fix the conversions first, and then you fix the leads, because you could generate as many leads as you want, but you're not going to make more money because your conversions is broken. So you fix the thing that is closest to the money, always closest to the money. And then you work your way back. Now, with that said, strategy is prioritizing limited resources against unlimited opportunities. And this is the final thing that I want to talk about when it comes to constraints before identifying leverage points. Cool? We are at 20 minutes. Wow. We're long. This is going to be a 40-minute training. It's fine. If you're still here, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. This is going to really make big difference for you and your business. Strategy is prioritizing limited resources against unlimited opportunities. All of those actions here are opportunities for me to improve. All of those. But look at it. Look at it. Is it even possible for me to work on all of those things? I would be overwhelmed. I would be tired. I would be running around in circles without getting anywhere, man. Without getting anywhere. Versus just looking at the biggest constraint, fixing those things specifically, because I have limited resources. I have limited money, I have limited time, I have limited energy. Everyone has limited money, limited time and energy. Even billionaires have limited time, money, and energy. Everyone, fundamentally. So you put your time, money, and energy into the specific things that are going to move the needle forward the most. Cool? This is what strategy is. So with that said, now you have identified the constraint. So how to identify leverage points in your system? So now you've identified the constraint, how to leverage this constraint, how to make a shit ton of money out of this constraint after you work with it. You have 4 types of, sorry for that, you have 4 types of leverage. I didn't come up with them. Naval Ravikant came up with them. I think he adopted it from someone else. I don't know. I don't care. But fundamentally, you have labor, you have capital, you have code, and you have media. Those are the four ways that you can gain leverage. So those are the 4 ways that you can put $1 in and get $10,000 out. When you look at your process, you will realize that there are points of leverage. Some are more powerful than others. So here's an example. For our business, we realized that the highest point of leverage is media. As the more people consume our content, the more they are open to working with us. 1. The easier the sales call becomes. 2. The more offers they take. 3. The better clients they become. 4. So just by doing good content and focusing on good media, we got 4 things working in our advantage. So we doubled down on content systems and developed our content philosophies. And now we have people paying us up to $6, $7, $8, $10,000 to work with us in order to learn our content systems and our content philosophies. Cool? So we realized that not all content is created equal. The best performing content were what and why content. So what are you dealing with? Why you're dealing with it? Results-based content, so we generate X results for X amount of people, and lead-in content, which is content that drives leads, like relevant lead magnets or direct offers fundamentally. This is what we found. So right now, we are leveraging media to our advantage, and we're going to go back into YouTube and we're going to grow on YouTube because media is the key for our business right now. If we just focus on media, We will have the clients constraint grow because we're going to get a lot fundamentally. Um, I'm going to see how to deal with that because we had closed our doors for the last month because we were at capacity. So this is another constraint that I'll have to deal with fundamentally. We'll have traffic flowing, we'll have eyeballs flowing, we'll have leads flowing by just focusing on one thing, which is media. So first you identify the constraint, you fix the constraint, and then you leverage that constraint with whatever form of leverage that you want to leverage. You have four forms of leverage. But first, before going into the leverage, before understanding the leverage, please understand your constraint. If you are a private client of PCL, when you come to ask me a question, please come with a specific question based on specific data that we can immediately fix that will get you the highest amount of results. General questions are going to be very hard to support you. General ideas are going to be very hard to support you. I can give you as much data as you want, as many tips as you want. I have resources more than you can even imagine. I've been operating businesses for 10 years. I've worked with hundreds of people. But I cannot know what to give you unless you come up with very specific things to solve. And hopefully, those specific things to solve are your biggest constraints. Cool? If you want this document, click below. You're going to get access to it. Other than that, I'll see you. Thank you for watching. This is going to help you break through in ways that you can't even imagine. And this is a core promise.